Hello, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Welcome to our April Code Jam live stream. My name is Tiffany Hall. If you haven't met me before, hello. I am an alumni of TripleTen Software Engineering Program also. So I'm very excited to present the Software Engineering Code Jam tonight. I'm currently also a full stack engineer and then a product owner at Scholastic Inc., the world's largest publisher of children's books and a powerhouse in the digital education space as well. As I said, tonight I get to do one of my favorite things, which is to be a host of the TripleTen Code Jams. Tonight is one that is near and dear to my heart because it's kind of from my own house, as it were, in all of the different programs that TripleTen offers, the software engineering students. So we have gathered all of our participants from our software engineering program across the US. And it's really great to see everybody getting an opportunity to work remotely and work with new people. And we will talk to all of our participants about it. Okay, if you're new or you're my mother, I will tell you what a code jam is. If you have never heard of one, a code jam is a friendly competition that occurs for the students during their normal coursework. These are super short competitions where a group of students get together and they jam out a bunch of code to meet the prompt that we give them. There are prizes, but mostly students compete for the things that like every developer wants, caffeine. It's probably like a coffee mug, but you put caffeine in it. So it's also pride. It's a point of pride with all of the students, as I'm sure anyone who has done any coding knows, to be able to best all of your other compadres. So let's begin. We have our code jam tonight, which consists of two parts. We have the coding part and the presentation part. Last week, the participants were divided into teams of four and were challenged to create and develop a website or application that helps people manage stress and improve their mental well-being. And I am personally going to be taking notes. I hope you will be taking notes at home. Some sort of digital solution that can support all of our stress relief and mindfulness and emotional well-being. Our teams only had 6 days to make their projects, so I'm sure they were stressed a little bit, but I'm sure it's all worth it. Today, the teams are going to show their projects off to everyone watching at home and all of the students who are watching this as well. Our judges are going to review them all during next week, and then they'll be evaluating the code, and then we have other judges that will be evaluating the presentation. Excuse me. Apparently, I'm going to have to sneeze. Okay, so if I'm not going to sneeze, let's talk about results. Results are going to be posted on our Discords and socials on May 1st, May Day. So all of our students who will watch, all of our students who are going to watch, you will be able to vote in the Discord poll that will be in our channels. But if you are not a student of ours yet, you will be able to vote either in the live chat box below this broadcast on YouTube or in the comment section if you're watching this back on replay. All right, it's time to get to the meat and potatoes of the code jam. That doesn't seem like that would be very tasty. We'll continue. So our first team tonight is going to be Cozy Corner. Cozy Corner is going to be comprised of the participants, Parnika Singh, Giselle Tavares, Nabosa Mandik, and Modesto Amador.
Hi, thank you, Tiffany. Yeah, so I'll be presenting. My name is Modesto Amador. I'm presenting on behalf of my team. Unfortunately, they couldn't be here because of time constrictions, but their work will show. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen. Go screen one. All right, can everybody see that?
Sure can.
All right, so we decided to go with a different direction from your typical website. We actually made an interactive website. This is Cozy Corner. This is our little digital work or environment that allows people to come and de-stress. So just getting right into it, the first thing we have is actually a breathing exercise. So if you click on the module right here for the window, it says let's relax. You can go ahead and click on it, and it actually takes you into a breathing exercise. So if you inhale, hold it, slowly exhale, and then it'll repeat once more. So inhale, hold, and then exhale. Feeling more relaxed already. That's actually created with just a simple timer. Something I could get into is actually our team comprised of mostly a lot of our students that were in the front part of the cohort. So they this is comprised mostly of just vanilla JavaScript and CSS and HTML, nothing fancy, no React. So that's the first part. We also have this little planting mini game. So if you click on the pot, it brings up a digital garden where you can then plant some flowers. So really cool. This is awesome. Sky had really incorporated this using just the CSS, since he's mostly really proud of his CSS, you can actually just plant in a garden, go ahead and click off the module. It'll stay there until you refresh the page. So that's really awesome. Then moving on, we have let me know if this audio works, but we have a TV screen that actually, as you hover over it, plays waterfall sounds. Can you guys hear that? Yes, no, no. Okay. Let's see. Let me go ahead and see if I can share more. Let's see, share. Let's see it. Share sound. There you go. Go ahead. All right. So I'm going to click on that. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah, you can hear relaxing sounds of nature as you click on the TV screen. Go ahead and click that off. You can also dim it so it's like a dark mode and it brings more ambience to that. You can that also combines with the audio. And then I also included this little record player. You can click on it if you're familiar with any lo-fi beats. If you listen to use lo-fi to code to, this is off their playlist. So that can play in the background. We also have a bookshelf that brings up some inspirational quotes. So it brings up this module. So something to read to. We plan on adding more to that, more sections to that. And then finally, I think which is the coolest part, we have this YouTube module. So if you click on the couch, get cozied up, you can actually click on these modules that include an embedded link to relaxing um, meditations to help you with that. And that concludes the live portion of our website. Really awesome. We just wanted to make something like a digital, like mini game, interactive, let people relax with this. And then I can also get into the code for this. Let me drag this over here. So yeah, everything's mostly comprised, like I said, of just HTML and CSS. So we just have their HTML. Um, Everything is mainly on, let's see, inspect elements. So everything is mainly just on this image wrapper. This is the one individual thing that hosts each individual image and module, which is awesome. So the way we were able to so we took a lot of these images like off of a free clip art. Obviously we're not artists, but using an isometric like tool, we were able to just skew the images, and then really cool. I can show the CSS for that. So the modules, you'll notice a lot of our let's see, let me find it. So we have, let's see, trying to find it. So a lot of these are, oh, here you go, page. Sorry about that. So we have clip paths. So if you're not unfamiliar with that, clip path allows you to basically um so if you notice, if I click above the window right here, it won't actually turn into like I can't click that. But if I click directly on it, I'm able with clip path to really isolate exactly where I'm able to click on. Same thing with the plant. This one was more harder because of all the jagged edges, but stuff like the lamp, we're with clip path, we're able to really isolate exactly where we can clip. So that was really cool. It's really cool tech with CSS. And then in terms of our JavaScript, everything is really just modules, really simple stuff that we learn within Sprint 6. So when you click on a module, it'll pop up just using like event listeners. So really simple, but honestly, like really cool on how everything interacts. And that's pretty much the meat and potatoes. Any questions?
Wow. Just, I'm still stunned over the clip path
Yeah,
part
there's
of
a
it.
really helpful website that we found. I think it's Clippy. I'll include it later on in the README.
Yes.
But yeah, it's really awesome with ClipPath. And then also that website allows you to, for example, if I go back to it, so like you can make it out of a polygon, and each one of these percentages is a point that you place it on. So yeah, so you can really get into some really complicated ones, like for example, but using that website, it helps you out because you're able to draw it. But yeah, that's a little bit about ClipPath.
That is so cool. I really appreciate the call out too that the other team members on your team are early in the sprints because that's a question we get asked a lot is like, oh, I'm still pretty early. Can I do
Mhm.
anything? And it's like there's a world of things to do with um, the basics, so to
Yeah,
speak.
absolutely.
So
Like most of this is made just with CSS and a little bit of JavaScript. But yeah, it was very important for the early on students to really get involved, really learn something was cool with this, especially because this isn't your typical bread and butter website. It's not just our landing pages. This is we just wanted to make something cool, fun, and interactive, just relieve stress.
yeah,
But
I
yeah,
I definitely think you guys hit the nail on the head there. I was asking in the YouTube chat, there are lots of chatter happening already, lots of fans shouting out. And um one of the things like when you were doing the breathing exercise, I was breathing in and out as well. So is that breathing exercise one that you guys coded, or is that like a code pen or an
so
API? Like where did you guys get
yeah,
that
so
one?
that's actually, like I said, everything's vanilla JavaScript. This is actually just right here, the inhale duration. We just this was from Sky. He searched up just like a basic breathing exercise, and then using the timer, like a breathing duration, was able to just input that in. And it repeats however many times you would like. Right here, it's 5. So just very simple, very but like really effective. Because if you actually do practice that breathing exercise, you will feel, you know, stress relieved.
Holy cow. So cool. Um, so Millie has a question and she wanted to know how long did it take to figure that out?
uh Figure what exactly out
I don't
in
know.
terms of
Millie,
the
do you want to
in
you want
terms
to
of the
unmute and
clip path.
ask?
I think Sky was
Oh,
able to
the
early on
clip
get that
path.
done. Yeah, he was able to figure that out, like I want to say within, honestly, within 24 hours of the code jam starting.
That's
Because
fantastic.
we said, so the first thing we did was we held a meeting. We settled on an idea. Okay, we wanted to make an interactive map. We had like the brainstorming. We wanted to make like an isometric viewpoint of like a room, and then just have like interactive mini games. And then so the first thing we did was settle on a couple mini games that we wanted to include, like the planting and the breathing exercises. And then
Hmm.
but he figured out, because a lot of these images, they're not free of backgrounds, or they're like a lot of the free assets, the clip arts, um, they're free, but they're not premium assets. So with clip art, you're able to just isolate the backgrounds. So he was able to find that helpful website early on.
Very fantastic. Really cool. And again, in the YouTube chat, there are a lot of people who even enjoy the kind of serene background. So,
Yeah, we
um,
really want we settled on this background because a lot of the other backgrounds were drawing more attention towards the actual space around, versus with this we just want the sole focus to be just the isometric view of the room.
okay. And how does it resize?
The resize, so we actually didn't really work too much on the resizing portion. Let's see. But it most of the stuff is based off of just that viewport, so it'll resize
Okay.
based off just off of that.
Okay.
Um But in the future, we'd like to make it more mobile friendly. But for now,
Sure.
it just resizes the main room. But even then, it keeps all the interactivity of this. So obviously, the module isn't fixed to that, but that's a simple fix.
Yeah.
But for the
That's
main
a
part, we would
V2,
just wanted,
V2 for sure.
yeah,
All right. Well, this is super great. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to present tonight and all of the work you guys have put into it, please make sure to share with us in the README the Clippy path
Mhm.
and any other of the resources that you guys used. I think would be really great. Things like the breathing piece. So all of those kind of CSS piece, because I'm not kidding, that is hands down the thing that people think they can't do anything with CSS, but being able to show that off in your README is a real boon. So
Yeah, I'll go ahead and include that link after this.
right on. Okay, so that has been Cozy Corner, aptly named, very cute. And that is Parnika Singh, Giselle Tavares, Nibosa Mandik, and Modesto Amador. All right, our next one is Palm Check, and that is Majestic Vons, Andres Pinzon, Millie Houston, and Roy Barham.
All right.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, everyone. My name's Andres, and with me are obviously Majestic, Rowie, and Millie. Majestic, if you could,
I
yeah, yeah. So we have, so here we have our website. It's called Check. Alrighty. So in under 2 minutes, what we have is a Check will guide you through 5 insightful questions as you start the quiz. And it'll be covering everything from sleep habits to emotional responses. And then it'll deliver a personalized stress score across those key dimensions. But we didn't stop there. So to keep things light, we added a rotating joke system that serves up stress-related humor every 8 seconds after you finish, and then a slick dark light mode so you can take your mental health break without straining your eyes. And then, so that's over here. Here we have the light mode and dark mode. Um, and then under the hood, we use vanilla JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. So just proving that meaningful, polished experiences don't require heavy frameworks, just focused dedication. And because we believe in responsible support, we also added a link right here to the national helpline, and it's accessible right from our footer. So professional help is always just one click away. That's ComCheck, your pocket-sized stress coach, built fast, built with purpose, and ready to bring a smile and some relief. Uh, so I'm gonna hand it over to Rowie, and Rowie will get more into detail with everything that we did.
yeah, I'll try to take remote control now.
There you go. Got it.
Okay, let's see. Awesome. Um, all right, thank you, Andre, for the great introduction. Um, so I'll probably start by sharing what I had in my mind while working on the site and the design. So pretty much, everybody has stress. I we kind of like I think we chose the stress assessment tool quiz because we want to address mental health in a more approachable way and like non-intimidating. Mainly thinking of accessibility. So and what makes our approach unique is that we combine like, legitimate stress evaluation with humor. You can see it in the questions. Um, because, sometimes acknowledging your stress level shouldn't add more stress to your day. So yeah, that's why I kind of thought it was a good idea. Um, the importance of it, like I said, kind of lies in the accessibility and immediate feedback. So not everyone that is feeling stressed and looking for something online will gravitate immediately towards a phone call or something similar. So we kind of try to give this site a nice and calming color scheme, and an easy title, calm check, to have a first step to help people recognize their stress level and provide kind of like relief, and also, of course, access to professional services. Um, so for the color scheme, we also added a dark mode on the side. We have that little moon sun. This is the color scheme we chose for the dark mode. Um, yeah, on the side here, you can see we have a retry button, reset the form. I'll probably finish off by mentioning my favorite animation, which would probably be the initial load. I really like the way this cloud kind of slowly settles into its place. I think that's calming by itself, you know? So yeah, I like everything how everything just bounces in, nice and slow. Yeah, I think that's it. Uh, I'll forward it for so 50 is not here. Um,
Yeah,
so I'll probably bring it to Majestic.
yeah, I'll go ahead and take it over from here. Everybody can hear me. So I'll like to go ahead and just um give some simple cool features real quick before I just explain the exact meat potatoes behind everything. This GIF right here that's created, this animation right here was created by 50, and it's actually really cool because it was created from scratch. I believe she drew that and she animated it so we can use it for our project. So it was awesome. So, one of my favorite things is this cat sipping on some tea right here. And as far as um so let's go ahead and look at the actual logic behind, like, the cool features that I like would have to be this excuse me. It would have to be this, if I could find it. One of the cool features for sure is this setup auto advance. So pretty much um we we're using an intelligent auto advancing system that's basically taking the question, excuse me, the question and putting it inside of a for each loop, and then um using the input for the and giving for each of those results, we're adding excuse me, an event listener that's changing the question by adding index of one. So it's automatically going to the next question. Um, excuse me. When we select our actual, our answers, goes ahead and it sets up that auto advance to the next question right there. Another cool thing that was done inside of here was the actual way that the results are calculated. So just pretty much just simple calculating system, taking the score of, if your score is less than or equal to 4, you get back to Zen Master activated mode, and then less than or equal to 7, getting back to Smellow mode. Less than or equal to 10, we're getting back, you're on the edge, and anything over 10, then you're full tilt stress, you know. And so I know another cool feature was the actual light and dark theming. So we actually it's a pretty simply set up right here with the JavaScript, going ahead and describing the light and dark theme for the, and also giving it, an icon for each. And pretty much we're actually, the cool thing that we're doing is we're actually storing the changes inside of a local storage. So when you actually um you like leave the page and come back, it'll still be it'll remember the actual theme selected, I believe. And one other thing just before I end is something cool about how we actually got the random jokes. So pretty much what was done is a a repository was made in Git, and basically a JSON file was added with an array of random jokes, and basically we fetched the data from GitHub repository, like a little microservice, and used the excuse me, the actual data from Git, like if it was an API. So that was actually one of my favorite things with this project. And overall, um, our 5 days, well, it felt like 5 days to us because we had Easter. Our 5 day sprint wasn't just about coding a stress assessment quiz. It was about bringing together, excuse me, I could get back on the quiz. It was about bringing together a group of strangers and turning diverse talents into something truly meaningful. We combined clean, responsive design with robust JavaScript logic, thoughtful content, and a playful joke system, all while keeping user experiences and mental health responsibility front and center. By dividing tasks clearly, separating HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, organizing our files, and maintaining consistent coding standards, we moved fast without sacrificing quality or functionality. Open communication and mutual respect fueled our progress, letting us learn from one another and make collective decisions on the fly. Looking forward, we're excited to expand ComCheck with more questions, user progress tracking, and richer resources, building on the trust and efficiency we've already established. In just under a week, we proved that collaboration, shared purpose, and dedication can create something impactful, even under the tightest deadline. And thank you guys.
All right, that was rad. I think really cool presentation. I want to tell you some of the things in the YouTube channel that the chat that some of the people are responding initially to is Elizabeth said that loving that there is a link to the National Help Hotline included in the footer, and I agree. I think that's a no-brainer, right? You get that score back, and then you might be like, oh, what's next? And you guys thought of that. So really great move there. And then a lot of people really love that overall theming, that it is beautiful and super cute. And people are a big fan, myself included, of the random jokes. Um, so it seems like one of the like the buried of the lead kind of things was that one of the teammates drew the little cat, which is adorable, and animated it, and you guys included that. So could I ask how you did
Yes, that was actually all credit due to 50. And
that?
I
It was
believe he is here inside of the Zoom meeting as well. Um, I'm not sure if she's able to talk about it or not, but as far as
she's typing in the chat, yeah.
yeah, that was
So it
really
looks like in the chat, uh, it says started off with making a set of images in the IBIS paint, saved each one individually before importing them into a website that creates custom GIFs. Took some trial and error, but eventually got the timing and placement down. Currently working on making a plant. I was just thinking Earth Day, making a plant to help encourage users returning often to help assess their stress level. Love that. Really great. And, Aaron in the YouTube chat, he also mentioned the ability to save state. And I wondered, um, how did you guys kind of work that out as a team? Were all of the team members in your team at the place in the sprints where you guys had learned save state, or is that something that some of you guys had to learn?
it was definitely a learning experience for we were all different levels of knowledge, but it was a learning experience as far as I would say that the biggest thing on my part would just be the working out exactly who's doing what and getting it to all come together. As far as that, I mean, yeah, coding this out and with, on the time constraint that we were given, it was and especially because this is all of our first code jam on
And
my
so I'm guessing none of you guys have worked together either.
we've never worked together,
No.
been on a team, so this was quite an experience, I would say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
for me, I kind of looked at it as like a first time kind of thing. So I kind of like experiment with everything. And yeah, the first actual project with first actual people. I learned a lot from this site alone. I'm sure it would actually probably look probably had more features if we had a bit more time. But yeah, overall,
Yeah.
I'm happy with how it came out.
No, I think it came out great. I know that it's very tempting to have real big ideas for what you want the project to be. And it's actually incredibly challenging for developers to deliver an MVP, that minimum viable product. So I think you guys really hit the nail on the head. There's obviously lots of room that you guys can improve, and I do hope you continue it. I think it's a really cool resource for people to have that's fun, and the ability to use the kind of self-created API is super cool.
Absolutely. And another thing that was pretty cool that I actually don't remember learning anything about CSS variables while I was going through. Possibly I
It's
might have
very early. It's very
gotten.
early when everything else is coming in.
Yeah, so we actually used the CSS variables to basically implement our actual uh dark and light scheme, and that made it 10 times easier.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
CSS variables are wonderful. It is one of my favorite things to do, especially because then it makes it easier for refactoring later.
yes, that was awesome.
Yeah. All right. That was Calm Check with Majestic Vines, Andres Pinzon, Millie Houston, also known as 50, and then Roey Boram. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
We're going to go to our
Thank
third
you.
team tonight, the Calm Coders. That team is Devin Bavsar, nope, Devin Bavsar, Brittany Taluki, Fred Hobbs, Narayan Mishra.
Okay. Hi, guys. I'm Brittany. I'm from the team Calm Coders. So our team was dedicated to creating an immersive online wellness experience. Let me share my screen real quick. Okay. All right. So I might have gotten a little confused on the whole MVP thing, or I might have overdone a little bit because there's an MVP in here, but yeah, I should have done more research on that because I might have overdone here. Anyway, we're just gonna go with it. So we decided to make an MVP. We probably should have done a little more research on what that was. On a wellness experience. Now, we felt in a world where it constantly feels like we're running at full speed. It's important to pause and take some time for yourself. That's why Fred, Devin, Narayan, and I got together to create Breathe Well, where our goal is to make self-care easy and accessible anytime, anywhere you are. It features calming audio, daily meditation quotes, and simple breathing exercises you can access whenever you need to slow down and just let go of stress. The features combined with the colors and visuals are all about creating a peaceful vibe that helps you feel calm and at ease. And Breathe Well isn't just a website. We like to think of it as more of an online sanctuary where you can disconnect from the world around you and reconnect with yourself. So each of us played a role to make this concept into a reality. All right, well, I created the chat on Discord so we could first connect, and we discussed ideas and strategies, and in general, keep in touch throughout the process of our project. I designed a simple blueprint on Figma and gave our team direction for the layout and how the website should look. I also kept the team on track with updates and gave everyone a section to implement. And so from there, they had a solid idea of what to go off of, and they each took their section and kind of made it their own. And I think the end result became more than we could have hoped for. So Devin was on the team. He was responsible for the header and the navbar section. He wrote the HTML and fine-tuned the CSS for his section. He also gave us a solid plan for working together using VS Code Live Share, so we could all work on the project at the same time, which was really, really helpful. Fred coordinated the breathing exercise and implemented the JavaScript. so that it would be functional. He also kept the team on track with collaboration and helped troubleshoot our deployment to GitHub pages, which was fun. And then Narayan implemented our team and footer section where he created bios for us, social media links, and he also helped me design the header. So we all worked together to revise the project. Once it came together and we merged everything, we cleared out any bugs and then made a bunch of little refinements before deploying the site. So during our initial meeting, though, we talked about how to collaborate because none of us have ever really collaborated, and it was a new concept for us. So it took us some time to understand, how branches and merging worked, and but over some time, we figured it out. We got together, we figured it out, and we tackled our very first challenge together, which was learning that. And so, yeah, we learned a lot in the process just to learn how to work together. So after that, we brainstormed ideas and we came up with a plan of action. And we all kept in touch through Zoom and the Discord channel that I made. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Devin so he can talk about his section a little bit, and then everyone will talk about their section. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Brittany. Thank you, Brittany. And hi, I'm going to quickly share my screen. Everyone can see this, right? All right, so hi, real fast. Yeah, my name is Devin, and this is my partner Pikachu. And for this project, I was responsible for creating the header, and this was our logo that we found, and like I created the nav links for the about section, the listen section, the breathe, and the contact us. And I also implemented this breathe well, and along with the functionality for the explore button, which led directly to the listen. And throughout this entire project, the best part about working on it was working with my group, and everyone was always willing to get on and like ready to collaborate on this project and get this thing done. And the main challenge that I had throughout this entire thing, and I'm pretty sure my entire group had it, and as per what Brittany's mentioned, the fun that we had throughout GitHub, which I mean, even though it was hard and even though it was something kind of confusing, we eventually did find our way. And I'm gonna test one of the nav links, and it was for those of us that at least got past the sprint two. How I did this was I made reference to I created the listing and the nav links, and like for every section, the about, the listen, the breathe, and contact us. And yeah, and I'm gonna test one of the links. It's gonna be the about, and I'm gonna bring you guys back to Brittany. Let me stop sharing. Or if Brittany you want to keep sharing on mine?
Yeah, that's fine. We're good. So this was one of the sections that I implemented. It was a pretty basic layout just because I wanted to keep it simple. I just wanted to let people know that what Breathe Well is about. And so I went on to Google Fonts and I found a couple fonts that I really liked. So we incorporated those fonts throughout the website. I also put a nice picture in the background just to keep with the calm theme there. And yeah, so that's pretty much it with the about section. And then if you want to scroll down, you could check out the other section that I implemented here was this section. This one was more to focus on meditation and why it's important. So you have a few little paragraphs there. If you go to the right-hand side, you will see the Spotify playlists that are embedded. So you can click on those and you can listen to them. There are 3 different ones. 2 of them are music-based and one of them is just Sound of Ocean. You can also click on the heart if you like it. And yeah, I had a lot of fun throwing those in there. And then my favorite part was the button. I like the get a positive quote button, which is down there. So if you're feeling like you just need a little bit of something to make your day a little better. You just get yourself a little random quote there and it'll talk about meditation and wellness. So I had fun implementing that one because I got to use JavaScript, which I'm still learning about, but it's very basic JavaScript. But I was excited because I felt like I really got to use what I was newly learning into the project, which was great. So yeah, I really enjoyed making that part. But that's pretty much it with my section.
I mean, let me show them the actual things, the actual quotes.
Oh
That
yeah,
here's the
yeah. Yep, there's the JavaScript. So I was able to make an array, and I was able to just put in all the quotes that I really wanted into that array, which I think is really cool because I could put really whatever I wanted. But I kept it with nice things. And if you go down, you'll see I just implemented a click event listener. I grabbed, I used the math random method to get a decimal that grabbed a random number between 0 and 1. The math floor method would take that decimal and make it round it down into the nearest whole number, and then quotes.length will basically ensure that the number corresponds to valid index. So then you just text content from the array, and then I added a class list so that I could display the quote, and that's how the JavaScript worked. And yeah, so we'll send it over to Fred so he can talk about his section.
Hey everyone, my name's Fred. I'd like to walk you through the guided breathing feature I built for the BreathWell project. This section offers a simple calming breathing experience where users can select a mindfulness mode through the focus, the balance, and the relax buttons. And follow a visual breathing circle that guides them through phases, the inhale, the hold, and the exhale, much like Modesto's project saw earlier. It's designed to help users slow down, center themselves, and create a mindful pause all within the browser. The feature is powered by HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. How it works, when a user clicks on the focus, a short countdown appears. Then the breathing cycle begins. The circles scale smoothly based on the selected timings and updates text to say inhale, hold, and exhale. There's also a session timeout after 6 minutes. So if nobody's using it after 6 minutes, then it'll just shut down. And right here, if you click on the stop, it pulls back in. BreathWell will stay for about 5 seconds, then it'll go back to the beginning again. So it resets itself. Each one of these have a different amount of time that you inhale and exhale. So they have different exercises. But I really liked doing this program or this project. And I'm looking forward to actually expanding it, because I'm going to take it and build onto it and see what I can come up with it. I really enjoyed working with the team. Everybody was really working together, and that's pretty much it right there.
Can you go
Give it back to you, Brittany.
For me.
We'll let Narayan's turn. You can go ahead, Narayan.
Can you go to footer and the team and footer? Yeah. My name is Narayan, guys. Team, like my part is like team and the footers. I use the same idea which we learned on the sprint 1, 2, and 3 design card, and we made a clear and organized sections that show our team members, their photos, names, and short bios. We hide sidebar is called by using WebKits and display none. And we use basic HTML and CSS. Each person is in the card with a picture, description, and build button to connect. Can you show the button to connect, please? And we are not yet use JavaScript on the button to connect. We are planning to use on future if we are using like a connect with a GitHub or something else. For the challenging part of this part was like make everything line up and nicely and look good on all screen size, like a little bit tricky on footer area. We had to adjust space and layout a few times. I'm very proud. It looks like professional and is easy to read every bios and so like clearly what we did and what we were so. And for the contributions, each of us help to build a layout and add our own bios and styles. We work together and share ideas. We got better, like we are like a better in written code right now because we learn from each other's people's like each other helps make things look good on phone and display, like in computer display, on working as a team. For the future, Hughes, I think Brittany will talk about that.
Yeah, I want to just go over real quick because we have a lot of really cool ideas we want to implement. And hey, Devin, don't forget to show them how it is responsive because that took us forever to get right. So show them that. Okay, so future plans,
I'm
real
just showing
quick.
everyone like our quick bio real fast, and like, yeah, sorry. So let me,
No.
yeah. So this is our responsiveness.
Responsiveness.
Let me head back. Oh, wait, let's start all the way from the top.
Yeah, go ahead from the top.
Responsiveness.
Yep.
Yeah, this was something that we all had a lot of enjoyment doing, but eventually we eventually got to the conclusion where we got it. And
Yes, we
I'll
did.
let Brittany continue.
We made it happen. We do have a few future plans. We would like to one day incorporate personalized breathing modes so that users can customize timing based on their needs. I think it would be fun to put a personalized playlist in there so users can also add their own music. And I think a dark mode would be really beneficial for enhanced relaxation. Also, a daily check-in system so that users can track their mindfulness progress. And to wrap up, I just want to say thank you to my teammates for their hard work and cooperation. Everybody was so easy to work with and supportive and insightful. And anytime we had a problem, we were all right there to help each other out. It really was an amazing experience. And I think I can speak for all of us when I say we all learned so much from doing this since none of us really ever worked together before. So it all came together and it was really, really fun. And I got the best teammates ever. So, and I also want to thank you guys for your time and support, and feel free to cast the votes, and don't forget to take a deep breath and click on our site when you're feeling stressed and step into calm and relaxation. Thank you.
All right, that was fantastic. I don't even think we have time to go through all of the comments in the YouTube chat about the project. I do want to highlight one from Cara Cross, who is a recent graduate. Hi, Cara. That she really likes the project that has a lot of activity and keeping the user calm and engaged. And I agree. Another person that says labeled as common sense said this would be great for a yoga business because it's all about the breath. And I couldn't agree more. I think you guys, you definitely far exceeded the MVP. It really is amazing, the amount of work you guys put in. So you guys showed amazing chunks of code. So thank you for that because that's always the nerdy little bits I enjoy so much. But it's you guys went through a lot of emotional things and through these 5 days and trying to get it all done. And so what tip do you have for future students who might be thinking about joining the code jams that we have in the future?
Definitely install live share.
Yes.
Okay. Install live
no,
share.
that's
Good
such a
one.
big one. Oh my
That
gosh.
was a big one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that one was when I didn't even know that that was a thing. So when Naria or Devin was like, we can all work together on the same project, I was like, wait, what? Tell me, tell me how. And so yeah, definitely installed the live share thing. And then another thing, just getting together and creating that Discord group just to start, because we had no idea even where to start. It's almost like we were dropped into China and they're like, all right, now go figure it out. And it's like where do we go? So but we all start building ideas. So it's really good to just start that Discord channel, get onto Zoom and just start brainstorming ideas and be
Yeah, we're
supportive. Like make sure you're supportive of other people's ideas.
if you share your idea and someone we can support, like if you get like someone idea and you can collaborate each other's ideas, so we make the strong points.
Yeah.
It seemed like what some of us were weak in certain areas, the other team members were their strengths. So that's what made the good team. So that's
Yes, and I think that is something to always remember, even when you graduate and you get jobs and go into a team, a for money kind of gig, is that even if you do have weaknesses in some code base or in some skill, that's the reason that you will be on a team. And so it's really good to develop those relationships early. So I'm glad to see that that was something that you guys found really valuable. All right, that is Calm Coders. And from the looks of it, many people in the YouTube chat are feeling very zen. So I think you have achieved your goal there. That team consists of Devin Bafsar, Brittany Tuluki, Fred Hobbs, and Narayan Mishra. And then our last, but certainly not our least, as the projects keep coming, hits after hits after hits, is the Diffusers. And that team consists of Aaron Megu, Brittany Gaines, and Pierre Joseph, and Jalen Cooper.
Hey guys. So we're the diffusers. I think Aaron is gonna be the one to share, and then I'll get going. I'm not, I'm a little nervous, but here we go.
You got this, Brittany.
All right. So yes, we are the diffusers. It is myself, Aaron, Pierre, and Jalen. We worked really hard on it. Of course, we had some challenges, which I'll, go over at later slide. But just kind of the structure, we're going to go over the objective, our solution to the objective, which was broken down into all of our different ideas that we had that we comprised and made it work. The challenges we face with having so many different ideas and how we overcame that, improvements that we would like to implement later on, as well as our stretch goals. So, our objective was to build an MVP of a digital service that supports stress relief, mindfulness, or emotional well-being. And then we had 3 ideas, and we came up with a user-friendly web application that empowers individuals to reduce stress and develop sustainable health habits through activity tracking, fostering a balanced and fulfilling lifestyle. Alrighty, so our daily challenges, we made it to like a game. That was, which is exciting. It had random challenges. We used a local storage to save that information, and then kind of have like login streaks that have fun things like badges, which I believe that should be the next slide, where you get to earn challenge badges. It checks the local storage, and you have a separate section for badges as well. So you can kind of keep track of those, earn more, and keep that going. And then we had another section to help build a routine, set reminders, and rate your sleep. And we had a calm corner where you get to kind of stop in and enjoy a nice, relaxing video. It's a guided meditation to help you get, nice and ready for bed or just to kind of relax and recenter yourself.
All right. Thank you, Brittany. So those are, as you can see, we implemented 3 ideas from the list of ideas, right? Which in hindsight was a bit stretching ourselves thin, but like Brittany said, we made it work, right? Um, so I'm just gonna go over the, excuse me, the website if I could find it. There we go. Okay. So this is our website. I know I kind of spoiled it earlier, but that's fine. Um, so the first section that was spoken about was the daily challenges, right? I have an array, and this is the section that I worked on. I have an array of challenges like have 1 square meal today, go for a walk, do some light stretching for 5 to 10 minutes. And I'll show you where I got like these ideas from later on at the end. But with each refresh, they stay the same. Notice they stay exactly the same. So it's kind of like it's saving the user data. Although we don't have a backend set up, we are saving like it's specific to that browser and this website, so it just saves it to local storage, right? As you complete it, let's say I completed this one, click to complete, it tells me I earned 1 point for completing this challenge. So not only are you completing challenges, you're earning points for them. And this is also being saved in local storage. And if you refresh, it's saved. I pressed the wrong button, sorry. It remembers that you completed the challenge, right? This is the badge section that Brittany talked about. There are no badges right now because I haven't earned any. There is the opportunity to have different types of badges, but right now all we have is the badges for login streaks, which I'm only on day 1 right now, so there's no streak for that. The other section, which was coded by Jay Lin, involves the cozy clock, where you're able to build like a little routine. So if I want to add a routine, visit the calm corner site and de-stress. Not sure if I spelled that right. De-stress. And let's say 10 minutes I want to spend on that site. And it'll add it right here. And you have the ability to click done and it'll just scratch it off for you. Or you could just remove it and you're back to square one, right? We have like a little timer here, which is like a wind down timer. It's strictly set to 5 minutes right now, but in the future, users might be able to set it to how much time they want to set it to. And it works just like any timer. You can start it, you can pause it, and you can stop and reset it and go on and go again. The reminders section is kind of like the routine section, so it uses similar code. Let's see, read a book. I have so many books that I haven't read, but that's beside the point. You can click done, and again, it scratches it off for you, and you can set multiple reminders, and it knows which one it's talking about. Delete this one, delete this one. Um, and none of this is saved to local storage yet, but you can also set like a rating for your sleep, which is useful for like if we want to implement something that tracks your sleep status or recommend certain things based on how you're rating your sleep. And the calm corner, Brittany, do you want to talk about this since this was your section?
Might help if I unmute myself. That might help. Yeah, I'm big on meditation. So I thought it would be nice to kind of implement that. And it does Aaron, you'd probably have to press it on your end, but
Oh, sure.
it does have a guided meditation, that's not too long, and it is guided because I know personal experience. I know some people have a hard time stilling the mind completely without all the outside noise. So me specifically, because I'm a yapper on the outside and the inside. So I like the guided meditation aspect because it walks you through the steps of, the breathing, where to put your mind, where to, all of that. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you, Brittany.
Mhm.
And as you guys might have realized, Jalen and Pierre cannot join us for their own separate reasons. But like I said, Pierre worked on the Cozy Clock section, and he did an amazing job at that. And Pierre did an enormous amount of the styling for us. A lot of the like the background and stuff and the colors and stuff were they're his brainchild. So you have him to thank for that. And the footer, Brittany pretty much worked on that as well in collaboration with me. So let's get down into some code, right? This is my favorite part of it. So let's start with the daily challenge section. So the way I did it is each challenge is a separate object, right? So um, this is like a class that I created, and I did the same thing for the reminders and the routine. So when Jalen coded his stuff, I kind of refactored it into classes. That way, as you saw, you can have the interactivity with separate routines or the uh, the challenges and stuff like that. So it does use the context, and if I go to index.js, and these all work pretty much the same. The code starts off by checking local storage, which the format of the local storage, if I call it here, you can see different things are being saved. So you have challenge points, 1. This is from when we earned this challenge point. And to show you that it works, if I click complete again, you've earned 1 point. And if I go into local storage again, it has added that point to challenge points, right? It saves the date, and this is related to the streak. So how it works is if I go check day streak, it saves the last login day. Sorry, it retrieves the last login day and calculates the difference between the days and compares them. So how you earn a streak is you want to be more than 24 hours since you last logged in, but less than 48, and only then will your streak increase, right? So that's why that date's saved there. And today challenges is just a string object containing each challenge and their associated difficulty. So if you go into constant, this is the array of challenges. You have the name of the challenge, and you have the associated difficulty. And this was chosen arbitrarily, you know. So yeah, that's that, and yeah, that's pretty much that. And then we have the reminders, which is essentially the same thing as the challenges. If I could just find index.js again, right? So check day streak, it checks the streak badge to see if after earning a new streak, then you get a streak. Here you have the different handlers that we're passing to the classes. These two are used by the reminder and routine step. Get challenges retrieves the challenges, and it does it based on whether you have data saved in local storage or not. So it'll actually check local storage to see if the today challenge item exists. And if it does, it won't generate any more challenges, but it will add it to the document object model. And if you have nothing saved in local storage, notice we have certain things there. So let's clear local storage. That is not what I wanted. Local storage dot clear. And if I refresh this page, it'll give me brand new challenges and I'll be able to complete them as necessary, right? Let's go ahead and set item. Let's set the streak to 50, right? And if I refresh the page, well, it should have added the badge there. What if I try 40? Okay, it's not working for some reason. But ideally, what would happen is as you make changes to your streak, it'll check your badges and see if you've earned any. Moving on, we have the stuff for the cozy corner, the cozy clock. It sets the timer, starts it, etc. This was all Pierre's work, you know, the event listeners and stuff for the buttons. And yeah, that's pretty much the bulk of it. Moving on to the challenges that we faced in working with this. Obviously, we know we faced many of the same challenges, like time zone differences. There was only one person who was out of time zone, so like we had trouble like setting up. Sometimes, you know, they would miss meetings, but that's okay. Because it happens, you know. Then we have skill differences. Two of our teammates are on sprint 9. Another one, Brittany, actually is on sprint 6. So she's just being introduced to JavaScript. So we decided that, you know, although she is exposed to it, she isn't going to be writing a lot of it, you know. And then getting GitHub to work was a nightmare because neither of us have a lot of practice using like git merge, git checkout, all that. So we had situations where stuff was being lost, or we thought we lost something, but we didn't actually. And then creating the framework for the project, we decided to use Webpack because I thought, you know, that would be a nice place for all of us to work from, two of our team members being on sprint 9. And Brittany would not have heard of this as yet. So, you know, we kind of had to go through and explain all of this without confuffling what she already had in her mind. And, you know, we kind of just reassured each other that, hey, despite our difference in skill, um, it doesn't matter. You know, we all accepted tasks that, you know, were in tune with our skill set. Um, with regards to improvements to the project, it would be nice if the as you earn points, you see it right next to the task that you completed. So you know, hey, I earned the points, or the total amount of points that you have. Modal windows can be used for like any user input. So like when you're adding a task, that can be a modal window instead of using the prompt from the browser itself. And I have experience in React, and I know how absolutely simple it is to use compared to like just straight HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and using modules. Um, so maybe we could use a different, you know, framework like React for building our project. And the stretch goals, which are extra features that we can implement, are, you know, the modals. And then we have the backend. Yes, Tiffany, I do loathe Webpack. It is a pain in the rear. Um, uh, yeah, so creating a backend, an actual backend server, an API to interact with it, where users can actually log in instead of having, you know, that basic local storage, you know, kind of like when you go to a regular website, it just saves in local storage. Like, oh, I didn't even know it was saving my data, you know. And then data can be saved on the true database, like, you know, MongoDB or something like that. So it can be way better. And with React, you can add pages way more easily, you know, with React Router. Um, so as you can see, this is a single page application. It's just one page interactive. So yeah. as I end this, I would just like to say it was definitely a learning experience, and Brittany, you can speak on this as well. Not
And
only with regards to teamwork and relearning how to like get into the vibe of, doing pull requests and stuff like that. Um, and learning, how to interact with your teammates appropriately. It was just an enormous. I could write like a short story
yeah,
based on this, 1 week experience. It was truly eye-opening.
it was great because, especially being in a more earlier sprint, wanting to do more was, a challenge for me specifically. But it was nice because I feel like it's good sometimes to not be the smartest person in the room, especially with something like this, because I mean, like Node, for example. I'm not familiar with Node, haven't gotten to that point yet. But I'm already familiarized with it. So, to a point, of course, I know there's more to learn, but it was just things like that. And my teammates were really good. I feel like there was nothing that wasn't other than JavaScript, I wasn't touching that. But there was really nothing that wasn't all hands on deck, even with suggestions. So all of the challenges that we had, I feel like we were able to overcome it. So yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you
that's
all.
fantastic. You
Thank
guys
you.
really put up a great project. People in the YouTube chat are very much loving all of the multiple things. Background is amazing. Layout of the page is engaging. So I think you guys did a really great job. I think the interactivity that you guys provided in there is really great. And I think that it's a really great point about the trying to balance the strengths, but also realizing that sometimes the basics are what's going to trip you up, right? Like GitHub.
100%. 100%.
I agree because it was like especially with like some of the styling, since that's fresher on my mind, like the earlier parts of CSS, I was able
Yeah.
to kind of, jump in and help with a lot of the styling too, alongside with Pierre, which was nice because we were able to kind of group off into strengths to work on and collab. We had like three different channels going on in our lounge just so we can hop around. So that was
Mhm.
nice. I mean, it was definitely a learning experience, like Aaron said, but all for the better, I think.
Yeah. And I think, Elizabeth brought up the points and the badge system, which I know you guys had talked about as a team, like coming up with that idea. Um, I think that, one of the questions that I ask a lot is, uh, would you recommend, though it is challenging and stressful, and you probably have to do a lot of the breathing exercises yourself, would you recommend doing the code jam for, other students who are looking at this and kind of thinking like, I don't know enough, or I don't possibly have any idea, or I'm scared to talk to other people, or any of those kind of
Yeah.
common things?
I would say so because we had a little bit of that mixed in our group. Me being less experienced, Aaron, of course, he's our guy. He was the man with the plan. So we love that for him. And then, Jalen was a little shyer, and Pierre was all in. Like he was, we had so many different things, and I think it's important to do that, especially when it comes time for us going into the real world and working alongside people and working on projects. You're going to have different personalities, different experiences, and there's always something that you can learn from everyone, I think. So I would recommend it. I'm was stressed out. I'm probably gonna get a drink after this, but but it was worth it. I'm happy. I would recommend, yes.
All right.
Ultimately, that's the goal is to get better, and I feel better. Yeah.
Yeah. And Aaron,
I
you're a little
concur.
farther along. So how was it working, kind of looking back, right? Working with other teammates that you've never worked with before that had less skills than you have at the moment, right? Because that could be a real thing, that people are just like, that whole senior dev, junior dev thing when you get on a team, right?
Yeah, yeah. It was interesting because as a graduate myself, you know, I'm I wasn't sure what to expect because I know a lot of the people coming into the CoJam are students themselves. So right away, I didn't want to overwhelm anybody with like, hey, React and MongoDB. That's what we're doing, you know? So,
Sure.
I was like, okay, let's create the group, let's get to know everybody. And I found out that they were only on like sprint 9 and 6. I'm like, okay, that makes things a little bit simpler, but also a little bit harder because I haven't done like Webpack in a very long time. Right? Even when I was doing it,
Yeah.
it was like complicated a little bit because like all the setup and plugins and it's like what?
I did as little as I possibly could to get through that sprint.
Right? Do it and then understand it later. But I ended up
Yes.
forgetting it anyways. You know? But yeah, it was definitely a learning experience because I kind of had I there were times I realized that I was going a little bit too fast.
Mm.
And sometimes I had to like be calm, which is why I'm grateful for, the breathing exercise app that I'm not sure if it's team 2 or 3 made. So I'll probably visit that afterwards.
Yeah, there's some good ones. Yeah, I think it brings up a really good point that, like, when looking at joining teams, in the program at TripleTen, sometimes you can get into that rut of just that tunnel vision of getting through the
Oh yeah.
program. But these types of competitions are great because they help you build that sense of community. But I think if
Hmm.
you're further along in sprints, it helps you build that sense of empathy that you
Exactly.
may need in your job as, beginning as a lead, but then working
Hmm.
towards like a tech lead. And that can really help you hone the questions you may have for what places you want to work for, right? Because
Yeah.
um, you will never find a team where you know all the things. And so it's really important that the team you join is like you guys said, like open to having people who are still learning different pieces. So
Hmm.
I think it's really great for you guys to experience that now.
Thank you.
Um, Really stellar job. This has been my favorite code jam already. In future, if you're watching this later, and you're in a code jam, it's because I told you to watch this one. And so this one is definitely amazing. I hope that you go back and look at all of the different projects and ask lots of questions. And on Discord, you can search for the students by their names. So that way you can ask them questions about their experiences too. Brittany, there have been a lot of very nice comments about you in the chat, so make sure you check that out. Mostly go Brittany. So make sure you look for those
There's
fans.
both Britneys. Okay.
This one has one T, so I know,
Okay.
and Brittany with two T's was before you, so
Yeah,
now
yeah.
that's how I
I'm
can
just
tell.
I'm just sharing love, I guess.
Okay, so this has been the diffusers, and that is Aaron Magoo, Brittany Gaines, Pierre Joseph, and Jalen Cooper. All right. And so that wraps it up for us here at TripleTen and all of our CodeJam presentations. This one has been one of my favorites, big fan, um, and also really looking forward to seeing the kind of version 2 that you guys all seem to have ideas for. So I hope you keep us informed on those changes. Thank you again so much for joining. Thank you to all of you who are watching. And if you're a student of ours, check the Discord. Tomorrow we will have the poll of whose project was your favorite. And if you are watching this, which I know you are because I can see you in the YouTube, please write down in the live chat now what your vote is for your favorite team so we can get those tallied and I can make sure Sharkbait gets a very nice hairball sent to you express mail so it's fresh. All of our results and winners are going to be posted on May 1st in Discord and in all of our social media. Thank you again to all of the people behind the scenes who are helping this go off without a hitch and look seamless. And that is Devin, Elena, Alyssa, Olivia, Anastasia, Dennis, and of course, my cat Sharkbait. Thank you again to all of you, the students who are participating. I know when we met for the briefing, there were so many nerves and nervousness and worries, and everyone's faces looking at me like I was crazy, like you couldn't do this. But I hope now that you all see that you did it and that makes you guys unstoppable. My name is Tiffany Hall. If you need to find me, you can find me at Tiffany Codes on Instagram, and you could probably find Sharkbait calculating the optimal nap to treat ratio. So thanks so much for watching and have a great evening. See y'all.